If you are the world number one, what do you expect from the planet's largest sports brand? A distinctive jersey, signature match shoes, a globally sought-after fashion collection. Aryna Sabalenka, women's world number one, three-time Grand Slam champion, dominating every surface. What does she get from Nike? A basic $35 t-shirt. Music, released exclusively in France. No signature shoe. Music, no personalized. Designs for Grand Slams. Not a single. Product line substantial enough to be. Music called fitting. Meanwhile, Coco Gauff, ranking below Sabalenka with New Balance, is forging a fashion revolution. In tennis, music, signature shoes selling out lifestyle. Collections wiped clean in 24 hours. Collaborations with Miamo becoming a global sport fashion icon. Hold on, you heard that right. Sabalenka is competing at peak performance, leading the WTA. Music commanding millions of global followers and still has to wear generic dress patterns that anyone can order on the website, while Gauff, though younger and with fewer titles, is meticulously catered to in every music detail, from the CG2 shoe with premium materials, designed for power and grace, to a media campaign reaching the world of high fashion. The fault isn't with Sabalenka. The fault lies with a brand that fell asleep at the peak. Music, a brand that once elevated Serena Williams into an icon, but is now letting another superstar slip away right before their eyes. The truth at minute 14 will make you disbelieve your eyes. Music, Nike, might lose Sabalenka and lose the historic opportunity to redefine music, the image of the modern female athlete. And if you find this story too ridiculous to ignore, click music. Subscribe to Pro Tennis 360, where every week we expose the stories behind the court, where brands, performance, and fame collide. Different starting points, but both aiming for the top. In 2018, when Coco Gauff was just 14, New Balance signed her, an unknown player who had never played a Grand Slam. That wasn't a safe decision, but it was vision. 6 years later, Gauff is not just a U.S. Open and Roland Garros champion. She is a mobile brand and Aryna Sabalenka. She joined Nike in 2017. Music at that time, Sabalenka was already a rising talent from Belarus, possessing an aggressive play style, an unmistakable court personality, music, and a clear future to explode. The problem is Nike saw it but didn't invest. The difference in how these two brands nurture young talent is where things began to diverge. New Balance put Gauff at the center of their media early. Music on. She was featured in fashion photo shoots, appeared in multi-platform campaigns, and, most importantly, her individual style was shaped through product, music, design. In 2022, the Coco CG1 launched, her first career signature tennis shoe. Music, and the first signature for a female tennis player in many years. Meanwhile, Sabalenka, who won her first Grand Slam in early 2023, still had no product named after her apart from music, a few player-exclusive shoes for competition use only, not sold to the public. One brand saw the fire when it was just a spark. Music, the other brand, watched a huge blaze and still acted unprepared. We often, music, think that performance is the prerequisite for respect and investment. But the story between Gauff and Sabalenka shows music. Performance doesn't dictate everything. The brand ecosystem, who invests in you, who believes in you, who positions you in the market, is what distinguishes between a good tennis music player and a global sports star. This is not just a tennis story. This is a lesson in marketing and how music sports brands shape the image of a successful woman. and in how a decision made in 2018 is changing the entire future of the WTA. When investment becomes a strategic weapon, Gauff doesn't just have signature. Match shoes, she has an entire product. Universe music named after her. After CG1 came CG2, a unique mid-cut design. A carbon fiber plate for speed. Music, the phrase power and grace on the tongue, not a coincidence. That's how the brand tells a story. Coco is not just powerful. She is also elegant. Not just a player, but a new generation, feminist icon. And then New Balance released the Coco Del Rey, a $100 lifestyle shoe line for mainstream fans. Following that was a handshake with Mo. Music, Prada's subsidiary brand. Gauff stepped from the court to the fashion runway without losing any of her athletic identity. Meanwhile, what did Music Nike do with Sabalenka? A black t-shirt with a celebration graphic. Limited sales in France. A model everyone. Watches Aryna released with Taggart XR. Priced at $50. No promotional campaign. That's it. At the same time, Coco was honored as Style Influencer of the Year. Sabalenka, the world number one, had no personalized product line whatsoever. Do you see the paradox? Sabalenka might not be the easiest person to work with. She is strong-willed, intense, sometimes too direct, but that is the role model of the new era. Today's consumers don't want please everyone images. Music, they want authenticity. They want personality. And Sabalenka has plenty. It's just that her brand is lacking. Do you think if Sabalenka signed with another brand music like AS6 or Puma, the story would be different? Comment if you ever thought that. The unequal matchup in the marketplace. Music, August 2025 U.S. Open. Two top players, Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka, facing off. But before the ball was struck, the music, cameras captured an unexpected detail, a close-up on the shoes. On one side was a CG2 Gauff signature shoe, white and blue, prominent, personalized. On the other side was a pair of Nike Vapor 12, a mainstream shoe model, available to anyone. Music, no personal. Logo, no distinct graphics, no personality. One side is an icon built, invested in and promoted. The other side is a star being neglected. The interesting thing is Sabalenka has her own colorway, the Tiger Edition, but Nike only released it internally. Fans couldn't buy it. Fans pleaded on social media, but nothing happened. Nike had the product, the market, the demand, but failed to act. The issue here is not talent. Sabalenka is not lacking in achievement. She is the world number one, with the most titles in the past 2 years, nearly 3 million Instagram followers. She deserves every marketing privilege. The problem is Nike doesn't see or doesn't want to see the opportunity. Comparing Gauff and Sabalenka, you will see one clear truth. This is not tennis. It is music, commerce. And in that commercial battle, the brand that invests at the right time will always win. Have you ever seen a brand slow to act music and pay a heavy price? Share it in the comments section. When fans must speak up for the athlete, music, the saddest part, Sabalenka knows it, and she spoke up in an interview late in the 2025 season. She stated bluntly, "Nothing special for me. Next season, maybe 2027 will be different." She smiled, but viewers couldn't help but feel the bitterness. Fans were outraged. Music on Instagram, Twitter, and tennis forums. Hundreds of comments named Nike demanding a change. Sabalenka deserves better. Why is the world number one being treated like a mid-tier player? There was even a hashtag, Campaign hashtag give heard. The anger doesn't stem from bias, but from evident injustice. If you are the number one player winning music constantly, inspiring millions, but still not valued by the very brand you represent, what else can you expect? Meanwhile, New Balance clearly understands brand value. They know golf is not just a player, but an icon representing the new generation. Music, young multicultural dynamic. They invested early, walked with her every step of the way, and are reaping the rewards. Sabalenka did everything right. She competed. Music, she won. She appeared in photos. She inspired. She did nothing wrong. But she was not given the opportunity. Music, and if Nike doesn't act quickly, they will lose more than an athlete. They will lose the trust of a generation of fans. What would you do if you were Sabalenka? Stay or switch to another brand? Nike, music, king in basketball, loser on the tennis court. When looking at how Nike treats athletes, music, in other sports, everything becomes even more unacceptable. LeBron James had his own product line from his second year. Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Sabrina, music, Ionescu all have signature. Shoes. Even John Morant received his own shoe before the scandal broke out. In the world of basketball, Nike music is the king of investment. They understand that personal branding creates revenue. Products are tied to the athletes. Personality, music, and fans will buy if they feel a connection. But why is that principle not applied to tennis? Serena Williams was the exception. She had her own collection, exclusive designs, music, even a fashion show at New York Fashion Week in collaboration with Nike. But Serena was not just a player. She was a cultural icon that forced Nike to act. Sabalenka is not lacking in personality. The nickname, the music tiger, the Belarusian tiger, has become her unofficial brand, appearing in her match shoe colorways. But Nike has never commercialized that image seriously. They are missing something important. Tennis is a niche market with great cultural spread potential. Those who buy basketball shoes are not just NBA fans, and those who buy tennis shoes don't necessarily have to be tennis players. Modern sportswear has no boundaries. If Sabalenka had her own Tiger show line, sharp graphics, strong colors, premium materials, do you think people would buy it? Remember, fans aren't asking for handouts. They are ready to spend money. If the product is worth it, do you think Nike has a blind spot in tennis? Leave your thoughts below. What Nike is missing? Music, the opportunity from a global star. Sabalenka is not just a world number one player. She is a potential global brand. Music from her intense play style to her emotional outbursts on the court, Sabalenka has every element to be an advertising face. Strong expressions, music, decisive gestures, meme-friendly, highly viral. She has a loyal fan base across Europe, especially in Eastern music, Europe, where tennis is a top-ranked sport, and in the U.S., music, she is gradually becoming a household name in Grand Slams. The image of the Tiger is not just a nickname. It's a complete concept. Music, powerful, independent, unpredictable. A smart brand could turn it into a global campaign. Unleash your inner tiger with Sabalenka as a symbol of a woman pushing boundaries. But right now, music Nike is only selling t-shirts, no campaigns, no long-term media content. Music, no image strategy, and more importantly, no listening to the community. When fans have written thousands of comments, tagged Nike hundreds of times, but music, still no action from a brand. That is no longer an oversight. It is contempt. Fans are not just buyers. They Our media, they create waves. They decide if a product is hot or flop. If Nike wants to maintain its position in tennis, music, they cannot continue with the big brand silence. If you were the Nike brand manager, what would be the first step you would take with Sabalenka? Music, write it in the comments. We will feature the best response in the next video. Signs of music and unavoidable breakup. Given the current situation, the most likely scenario is not Nike changing. It is Sabalenka leaving. Music sponsorship contracts always have an expiration date. And if you are Sabalenka, you have fulfilled your obligations. Top performance, winning, titles, photos, full appearances. Music, you kept your end of the commitment. But what about Nike? They failed to create a product line, media, campaigns, or utilize their personal image. Music in a world where every athlete becomes an influencer. Nike. Silence feels like a direct rejection. The question is, who will step in if Sabalenka leaves? Music, Adidas once had Angelique Kerber. AS6 needs a strong female representative. Lululemon wants to penetrate tennis. Even a young brand, like on running, backed by Roger Federer, could recruit her a new brand. Daring to invest correctly could turn Sabalenka into the commercial female Federer. And at that moment, all that, Nike will be left with our few T-shirts and regret. Tennis fans know. Strangers to brand transfers. Music, but rarely is there one as symbolic as this. The world number one neglected. Music and ready to be elevated by another brand. Which brand do you think Sabalenka should join if she leaves? Nike? Vote by commenting the name of the brand you trust the most. A story bigger than tennis. The story between Sabalenka and Nike is not just a contract dispute. Music, it is a prime example of the gap between the world of female athletes and how brands are still out of sync in investing in them. Music in basketball, a potential male athlete can have their personal brand built from their second year. But in women's music, tennis, you can be the world number one and still have to wear generic wear. The question is no longer, are you good enough to be invested? Music in, but do you fit the brands? Old mold? Sabalenka is not safe. She screams when she scores, smashes her racket when she loses, music, and celebrates like a warrior. But those very things make fans love her. Music, she doesn't craft an image. She lives authentically, and that's why millions follow her. Modern brands cannot keep music looking for a perfect fit. They need to learn to embrace personality, not polish it away. If Nike wants to maintain its market share in women's tennis, they music need to act, not ignore. Do you agree or disagree with this assessment? Comment yes if you want to see Sabalenka get her own signature line. And if you are looking for analyses like this every week, music, subscribe to the Pro Tennis 360 channel. We're not just scores, but also the backstage stories are dissected to the core. When prejudice becomes an invisible barrier, there is a true few dare to speak. Brand prejudice against female athletes still exists, although no one may publicly admit it. Coco Gauff, young American polite, music clearly defined, is easy to invest in. Sabalenka, Eastern European, powerful, unreserved, is unpredictable. And in the world of big brands, unpredictable often equals risk. But that is precisely what is debatable. Should only those who fit the Western standard deserve global brand support? Music, if Nike truly believes in the value of global sports, they need to prove it with action. Instead of continuing to choose the calculated silence, Sabalenka is living proof of overcoming challenges from a country without strong media, without PR support, music without a brand, launch pad, and she still reached number one. If a brand fails to see the music, value in that, the problem is not with the athlete, it is with the brand itself. Do you think Sabalenka is being overlooked due to regional prejudice, or is it just music a business strategy? Leave your honest thoughts and don't forget if you find analyses like this valuable. Music. Click subscribe to Pro Tennis 360. We always dig deeper than the surface of music events. Sabalenka deserves better. You might not be a Sabalenka fan. You might prefer a softer play style or admire brand-friendly names. But after 20 minutes of analysis, you can hardly deny one thing. She deserves recognition both on the court and on the sales shelf. Sabalenka, music, is not asking for privilege. She is asking for fairness. And when a world-leading athlete is treated like an unknown, that is not just a commercial mistake. It is a failure to recognize human value. Nike still has time. Music, they could do the right thing. They can create a hit with the Tiger Edition product line. They can turn Sabalenka into a global image as they once did with Serena. But if they continue to remain silent, music, a breakup is inevitable. And when that day comes, it won't just be Sabalenka leaving. Music, a generation of fans, will also follow her towards a brand that dared to believe first. What are your music thoughts on this truth? Should Sabalenka wait for Nike or create a new path for herself? Music, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe to Pro Tennis 360, where you will always see the hidden angles that the media has never revealed.